Okay, let's get into this right here. Well, how you like that one, guys? How you like that script last night with the Detroit Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers? Well, if you ever been to my channel, if you want the fake, uncut Sports Center version of it, go to Scap, guys. Go to guys like Scap, who is trying. These guys like that, they try to make sense of the script, right? These content creators are the new Sports Center, uncut, right? Guys like Scap, that's what they are. They try to make sense of this NBA being scripted because you're like, what the hell happened? Why did these guys stop playing? How does this make any sense? Well, Scap is just gonna, cover it up. He acts like, let me leave this guy alone, man. This guy is he's a fraud, right? So we all know what happened. We all got eyes. We're not dumb. We can play dumb, but we're not dumb, guys. We can listen to the play-by-play and then play dumb about what happened last night. What happened was Detroit literally shut down, stopped playing defense, and literally handed the ball to the Cavs and said, we don't want to play. That's what happened, guys. To a top 3 defense in the league this season. We don't want to play. Because we got our money on Vegas. Because we were supposed to win this series. We're not even supposed to be in a game 7. With Donovan Mitchell, one of the biggest meltdown artists of all time. James Harden didn't have a good game. Actually had a bad game. None of the starters for Detroit cracked 20 points. How is that possible? Oh boy. The league loves to be in bed with betting. And boy, did they get you gamblers on this one. Go look at the game. That was a disgrace to the Detroit fans. Just a disgrace. And you got fans sitting there cussing out Donovan Mitchell, calling him names, blah, blah, blah. How about you call your own team names? That was a disgrace, guys. If this was old school Detroit fans, they would have walked out after the first half. That was embarrassing. That wasn't a team outplaying you. That was you literally letting them get buckets freely. Letting them score freely. Even a 2-year-old child could watch that game and be scratching their head, Google Gaga. What the hell is going on? This is what the NBA brings you guys? Straight scripted entertainment right to your face. And like I tell the fools all the time, when they tell me, well, how you know it wasn't scripted when you used to watch it back in the 90s? You ain't gonna see nothing like that, guys. Because always tell them, look, if it was scripted back in the 90s, they damn sure played the role. You didn't know. You didn't know it was scripted. It could be a referee made a bad call at the end of the game when it was a foul and they didn't call it, or it wasn't a foul and they called it, something like that. But that's all we're talking about. If you want to say, you say, oh man, they cheated. They rigged it up so this team could win by calling that foul. That's it. But when you literally watch a whole scripted game in the LeBron James era, because his whole career is scripted. And I told you fools, I said, look, stop thinking and listen to these content creators when they tell you foolish stuff. Oh yeah, LeBron James, his career is scripted, or this was rigged for LeBron James. All of them is in on the script. From Michael Jordan with the Hornets to all the NBA owners, to all the players, to all the refs, all of them. One guy can't move by himself and not know this and that to the script, right? Or the script wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. They all in it together. Nobody wanted to win except for LeBron James, right? Building super teams. Not this owner, not that owner, not Michael Jordan, the owner. They all would sit around and watch LeBron James build super teams. They don't want to win. They can build a super team too. Nope. because they all knew what the script was, guys. It's just they all knew what the script was. Like when LeBron James lost in the 2004 Olympics, script, not even possible. Ginobili and some 6-man Argentinians can beat that team. Nope, they could play with their eyes closed. That 2004 Olympics team and still beat a 6-man. Remember, Manu Ginobili wasn't much back then, guys. He had just won his first championship. Blah blah blah. We ain't talking about Ginobili in 2007. When he did sometimes start, we're talking about a bench player, Manu Ginobili, with some Argentinians with not one melanated brother on that team. It ain't possible, guys. But it is possible when betting is involved. Same thing with the 2006 FIBA. When that team lost with LeBron James on it. Just all this fishy stuff again with LeBron James, them losing. A whole bunch of grease sewer workers. But guess what? What none of them dudes in the NBA. You can go down the line with LeBron James' career. Getting smoked 4-0. It was teams that beat San Antonio that was inferior to that 07 Cavs team. It was teams in the West who beat that team. Well, not beat the first series, but won games off of them. You can go down the line. 09, 010 for LeBron James. We know what happened then, guys. Number 1 seed, best team in the NBA. 11, 14, 15. Remember, a guy always gets hurt on his team, guys. That's why I say when you think about this stuff now, time to wake up. Can't be sleeping all your life. When you think about it, all these guys is in on the script. To them, it's just a game. They'll never get past those top 10 players. LeBron James being a top 10 player, it's a game, guys. It ain't nothing but trigger bait. These content creators will come on here with their best performance and act like they don't know it's scripted. Oh man, this guy said this, man, and this dude did this, and this player said, huh? It's fake. They don't believe none of it. It's fake. You can't be this dumb. But they're telling their subs that you're dumb because you actually believe that. That Paul Pierce said that Victor Wembanyama is the greatest player of all time now. You actually believe that Paul Pierce says that? No. But he wants you to call out his name, so you go to his channel and listen to him. And this is what people like Dreamers Pro, what they do is they support all these fools that they say they're against. When they call out their name, they're just supporting them back and forth. Because it's just about money. It ain't about nothing real. This is all entertainment. Remember who used to write about sports solely? Basically, the sports writers. The sports writers. Now everybody is a sports writer, right? Yeah, so this was a disgrace. A scripted disgrace. And they can't even play the part. That's what's so bad. And I'm going back to the people that say, hey man, how you know it wasn't scripted back then? It might have been. But I can't go with anything that was scripted. I can go by a bad call. In this era, you can go by the whole damn thing being scripted. Part after part after part after part. The script runs deep in this era. In the LeBron James era. Look, I said this before. I said I got Detroit and the New York Knicks in the finals. I mean, the Eastern Conference finals. And I got New York going to the finals. Change up the script, NBA. Let me see it. Let me see the Cavs. Well, I wouldn't doubt it. This shit that they pulled off last night, that? Really? But it don't matter who comes out the East that they script. Coming out of the East. I still got San Antonio going to the finals. The only way that a team beats San Antonio in the finals, which would have to be now, the Cavs or the Knicks, Victor Wembanyama would have to go down. And then all bets are off. That's the only way. But I just don't think so, guys. It's too much money in the promotion of Victor Wembanyama, guys. He will win Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive First Team, All NBA First Team, All-Star, championship, probably Finals MVP. The only thing he wouldn't have this year after he won a championship would be MVP. That's it. Do you know the promotion in the offseason that this guy would get, especially going into the next season? You never seen nothing like it. I think the only player to do something like that was, I want to say, Hakeem Olajuwon, if I'm mistaken. But if I'm mistaken, I think Hakeem did win MVP that year. I'm not, or was it David Robinson? So I think it was Hakeem who did something close to that, right? Or it would have been something similar. Nevertheless, and it would be, as far as them making money, well, they were making money anyways, because a lot of people don't put New York going to the finals. And are really going to put New York going to the finals now that they don't have to play Detroit. So they might switch it up and put the Cavs in the finals and then get smoked by San Antonio. Because nobody's seen this coming. Especially after Cleveland damn sure looked like they didn't know how to play basketball and they was getting smoked in this series 2-0. Suddenly, Detroit forgets how to play basketball. If I'm mistaken, it was a top 3 defense in the league this season. Jalen Duren, this guy's all over the place, man. This guy's all over the place in the playoffs. Just all over the place. He's supposed to be this defensive threat and all this stuff. They would literally guys, as they was getting beat and they were down, they were double teaming guys for no reason and leaving the open guy right there under the basket. They were literally just throwing the ball to the Cavs. Guys. We all know what's going to happen next. It don't matter if the Cavs lose in the third round in the Eastern Conference Finals or they lose in the finals, right? If we just have one more piece, a director, a guy with more experience, all this stuff. Who is that, guys? LeBron James, guys. He'll probably show up to some of these games in Cleveland disrespectfully, him being a Laker now, and they'll say, "Oh man, he don't have no contract with the Lakers right now. He can do whatever he wants." He does whatever he wants anyways on his script, so it really don't matter. He can do whatever he wants to do on his script. The way Donovan Mitchell played last night, you would have thought that guy scored 40 points, and I think he only scored like 26. No player, tell me if I'm wrong, that's what I seen in the box score. Had 20 points on Detroit. Not one player. How's that possible? In a game that you let them score like 125? Look, guys, I'm trying to tell you. Let's see what happens. But I think this is definitely that series is scripted. But we got to ask ourselves why. Why couldn't they let Detroit win? And move on to the next round. Well, it's the LeBron James effect, guys. That's what we got to come to grips with. That they need to talk about LeBron James. They need to talk about LeBron James in the next round, as far as Cleveland. Yep. Watch that series. How many times will they mention LeBron James maybe coming back? Will LeBron James show up to one of those Cleveland games? And whether Cleveland loses in the Eastern Conference Finals, he might come one of the Knicks games. Whether he loses, or whether Cleveland loses in the Eastern Conference Finals or in the finals, if they beat the Knicks, wherever they lose at, they will be throwing LeBron James' name around as a piece to come help the team. This is possible, guys. Remember, LeBron James is a pawn. He's on the NBA watch. If you don't know that by now, he's on the NBA's watch. He's a pawn for them, right? To sell the NBA based on a soap opera, right? His soap opera. It's not about winning. It's just a soap opera, right? So they got him hostage that you have to do whatever the hell we tell you to do. We already said you're a top 2 player for being a failure and doing it wrong. But we need you for the trigger bait, right? We need you to, for everything. Let's don't try to point out this or that. It's a lot of stuff they use this guy for trigger bait. So that's it. Scripted NBA. See, I don't get mad. We laugh at this stuff, man. Sometimes you hear it in my voice, like sometimes I'm angry, but I'm just dramatic about it. I'm trying to be dramatic about, what I'm explaining, because what I'm explaining is basically what we are seeing, what we have been seeing. What these content creators try to explain to you is nonsense, a blame game. They find somebody to blame for what happened, so they can try to explain the NBA script to get a pat on the back from Boss and Mazza and some coin in their hand, okay? But as they explain it to you, they got you looking like an idiot. An idiot. They know it's scripted, but they can't tell you that. Boss ain't gonna give them no money. Boss ain't gonna give them no money. And they, as much as they say, I ain't here for no money. Yes, they are. Turn off your monetization and then roll. Do it. You ain't gonna do it. You is here for money. Especially if you putting out 3-4 videos a day, 5 videos, well, you there for the money. And I'm not trying to say you shouldn't be. I'm just saying that's what you're here for. Especially if you ain't exposing the script. It's a script. Can't explain nothing about LeBron James' career past a script. That's it. The NBA is a business. One man doesn't run the NBA, but that's what they've been trying to tell you his entire career, that he runs the NBA. Him and Lil Fruity Pebble, Rich Paul. Lil Fruity Pebble, Rich Paul. Oh man, he went up there, man. In Hollywood, they put Fruity Pebbles with women for the appeal, for the sale, for everything else. Guys, time to wake up. Hollywood is over anyways. That's why Hollywood is so bad. You know why Hollywood is over and all this stuff is over that was associated with Hollywood, sitcoms, music, movies. You know why that's over? Because all these people that was in that industry, they ran to AI and got rich. Yep. They ran to AI and went to social media and got rich in one way or another, guys. That's why no money is concentrated on Hollywood anymore. Because all them fools that was in Hollywood behind, remember how Hollywood works, it's not the front people that you see. Never. So I can tell you guys all the time, LeBron James is just a front person. Everybody that scripted his career or been in cahoots on the script of his career, they're in the background. You'll never see them. You never see them. That's why you don't never get to blame them, right? You don't get to blame them because you don't see them. It's like they put the president out, right? That's the person you blame. Or they put the Congress out. Whatever. Them aren't the people who run any damn thing. Those are just the front people. People who run shit, you never see them. You go to a job, who owns the company? You're just going to see the front people at the company. They don't run nothing. But you don't see the people that run the shit in the corporate office, the owners, blah, blah, blah. You ain't going to see them. They ain't there to get blamed. You're gonna blame the front people. Anyways, how Hollywood worked was you might have the front people who are the stars, the movie stars, the singers, the actors, these people like that. Those are just front people, guys. They don't write the scripts. They don't make the music as far as the sound, and they don't script the music. A lot of stuff. They don't make the clothes. They don't make all this stuff. All the people that make the magic happen are behind the scenes, guys. Those people have left Hollywood. They're not there no more. And when I say the people, I'm talking about people who were great at the craft and were able to pass the greatness that they learned down to the up and coming people behind them. Well, those great people don't exist no more. Now you got subpar people that's remaining in Hollywood because all the people with real talent that will be behind the scenes, they went to social media, they went to AI and stuff like that to make a lot of money. The easy way, AI is the easy way to make money now. It's not Hollywood. Hollywood consists of, yes, it was great people behind the scenes making the magic happen, but it's a lot of work. With AI, you don't have to do any work. Not that they didn't have AI in Hollywood for a long time, but I'm just saying, it's a lot of people you got to employ, a lot of people you got to pay, a lot of, stuff you got to, just a lot of stuff. That's why Hollywood is so bad. And when I talk about Hollywood, I'm talking about everything that surrounds Hollywood. Everything is Hollywood. The rap industry is Hollywood. All music industries were Hollywood. You got the movie industry. You got a lot of different industries. You got the, what do you call it? Remember they used to have all them talk shows back in the day, sitcoms, all that. All these people came out of Hollywood. Even your rappers, Ice Cube, Ice-T, Tupac, the Fat Boys, Beastie Boys, Run DMC, these people are all put on by Hollywood. Right? So they give you some script, say, oh yeah, he was just some black kids from the street rapping, and they was just on their own block. No, guys. These are Hollywood actors. How they did it in Hollywood was these people aspired, right? And a lot of these, people came from other countries. It was a pipeline of immigrants putting their children in Hollywood so they can get up out of those third world countries, right? So they would give their children to Hollywood through a what do you call it? I forget what the word. I'll remember in a minute. But they would apply for a certain visa. That's what it was, a visa, like an entertainment visa, whatever like that, so their child can, go to Hollywood. And that's how they would get over here. And you would have to basically give your child to Hollywood. So your child would grow up in Hollywood, blah, blah, blah. We ain't going to get into it. But I'm just trying to tell you, a lot of these kids grew up in Hollywood. So anyways, what they would do with a lot of these entertainers that aspired to be actors, if they couldn't be actors and couldn't sell as actors, and they deemed them to, we don't think you're going to make it as an actor, we can't sell you, make no money off of you, but what we can do is, we can put you as a singer, you can be a singer, or you want to be a rapper, and that's what they would do. They would put him as a rapper, and that's why they would come up with a fake name for him, a stage name, LL Cool J, you know what I'm saying, Nas, Tupac, these type of, Heavy D, because they were turning the character. They don't want you knowing their real name. You know why? Because if you go look up their real name, they didn't come from no hood. They didn't come from no bad background. They ain't the people that, they're scripted to be out there on the world stage. They're actors. And then, just a coincidence, they're all of a sudden in movies, right? Because you would tell a normal person who try to get, into Hollywood, and they've been trying to practice this stuff for all these years, read these scripts, go into this type of character, and they can't even get in, guys. They're competing with all these people. They never get in Hollywood. All these people that went to Hollywood inspired to be an actor or try to be on a Broadway show or whatever like that. Because it's competition. You weren't good enough. You weren't good enough. But suddenly, just some fools off the streets, some high school dropouts, some killers, some drug dealers, all this stuff can suddenly read scripts, guys, and go into character, and it's just easy for them. It's just easy, right? For Tupac to be an actor, Ice Cube, Ice T, all these rappers, right? They even showed you this in the 80s. These rappers was making movies because they came out of Hollywood, guys. They're Hollywood actors. So I just thought I'd tell you the truth. And, a lot of people always say, man, I like when you talk about different stuff on your channel when you try to wrap everything up at once, because I'm not a character, guys. I'm just like you. Most of these guys come on here and try to be this character. And they don't want you to live in reality of the world. They don't really want you to know about the world. And I'm trying to tell you about the world. What I know since I've been alive and what I've investigated. And, a lot of this stuff is known. And we should know this stuff. That's why you can't be one way. You can't just, be one way in life. You got to, study different things. Go down different avenues. You know what I'm saying? You just can't be one way in life. Can't be. You can be. I ain't trying to say you ain't going to be a good person if you're just like one way or you think one way. Or that can make you a crazy person, a bad person. But like I said, that don't mean you're going to be that. You can still be a good person. But wanting to know about the world and wanting to know about history, not his story, history, I think is more powerful to have that type of knowledge. So what if you can't change the world? It's just better to have those type of things in your DNA. So you know what's really going on in the world. When you know what I'm saying, you hear something or you see something or you just think about your life journey and you know about these things. So anyways, yeah, that's where Hollywood is now. Hollywood is basically over because everybody's running to social media to make money. That's a big thing. So you better get some knowledge off of social media because there's a lot of knowledge out there, because I don't think it's going to be around forever. They're going to end up shutting this thing down whenever they can, and it's going to be over. So there's a lot of powerful knowledge out there on social media. But, some of it you got to take with a grain of salt. Some of it you got to be aware of. And some of it you can't move fast on. So, yeah, that's just what it is. And so you basically got this nonsense going on out here with this. Listen, this should be this should be a good scripted matchup right here. OKC, the Spurs. What I think is going to happen is a big injury going to happen on one of these teams, and I think it's going to be OKC. Look, the concerning problem with this is, it's not somebody's got to win, somebody got to lose, right? And that's obvious. But how come we can't get, this team won because they won? They was the better team. They outplayed you to the end. They outdueled you to the end. That's what we used to see back in the days, guys. That's why when you guys say, "Oh man, it's scripted," it was probably scripted back in the day. But guess what? We seen two teams going down to the wire, playing hardcore defense, not making it look obvious if it was scripted. And a better team won. And maybe, you can say, oh man, the ref made a call when it wasn't fair. It wasn't a foul, or it wasn't. But that was down to the last minute. You weren't watching the whole game getting scripted, and teams giving up, and teams just handing the ball over, and players faking hurt like Anthony Edwards. It's not fun no more to watch sports, guys. This is only fun for the bettors. And I'm like, I don't know how it's fun for you guys neither, because you get screwed. You're not really betting. They're winning the bet because they're in on the script. They're in on the over and under games played for them because they know. They know how many games they're going to play. It's not fun. You see some of these games where, San Antonio won the season series against OKC, but the guys weren't even there. Oh, OKC guys weren't even there. How can we even count that? San Antonio was beating a hurt team. Can we count any of these series this year? Can we go back and look at, some kind of asterisk? This guy was hurt. This guy didn't play in the playoffs. Blah, blah, blah. These teams literally throwing games like the Celtics to the Sixers. Like, what? How do you throw that series? You lost to the 76ers. Because betting, guys. Oh, that's it. Lost to the Sixers. Then the Sixers got mollywopped. So the Sixers get mollywopped by the Knicks. So what's going on with the Celtics? How's that possible? like this right here. Denver mollywops San Antonio in a season series, right? Mollywopped them. But Denver gets beat by Minnesota. Okay, whatever. I don't see how. Because the seeding, you are what your seed tells us, right? So Minnesota beats Denver, but Minnesota turns around and gets mollywopped by Minnesota, by the Spurs. But Minnesota can't lose to the Spurs because they just beat Denver, and that Denver team mollywopped the Spurs in the regular season. In the series, in the season series. What? Where we at? They can't tell you guys because you can't. I'm just done, man. I'm just. So, anyways, yeah. Can we just have a fair series where this team is down to the wire? Every game is down to the wire. Close game. No, this guy get hurt. You got a big matchup right here. Let him play. Let off on the script and let him play. And we don't need excuses. Every series is an excuse about this, about that, about this. Grown ass men getting excuses. But last night, what Detroit pulled off? No. I wouldn't. If I was a Detroit fan, I'm never going to one Detroit game again. Not until these fools that's on the court leaves. That was embarrassing. That looked like an intramural team, Detroit. They look like an intramural team playing an NBA team. No excuse for that, guys. And like I said, the only excuse for it, number one, is betting. Two, so they can talk about LeBron James in the third round. And LeBron James going to New York, or is he going to Cleveland? Oh, LeBron James is at one of the games. Where's the failure going? Where's the meltdown artist going? Where's the trigger bait for the NBA going? Told you, the only thing holding the NBA up is LeBron James, guys. Trigger bait, that's it. Well, they already begged him to come back, whether it's on social media, or whether it's on ESPN, or whether it's on the Lakers. Everybody begging him to come back and do what? Just be in the way? Yep. To be the trigger bait? Yep. That's what they sell their NBA off for a long time, guys. So just enjoy the script, guys. Because you can't make sense of a script. And that's what these dudes out here is trying to do. These content creators, they're trying to make sense of this NBA. But you can't because you don't know the script. But guess what? I know some of the script. I know some of the script. And it's already come to fruition.